Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the Oscar nominated movies that I have currently watched on the road to the Oscars. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I have not made as much progress on this list as I would have liked to, but I have made it through two categories completely, at least completely, of the movies that are available for me to watch, and those are the short film animated and the short film live action. Short film animated, I was lucky enough to be able to watch all 5 that are nominated this year. Short film live action, unfortunately, only 3 are available for me to watch, but I will talk about those 3 and give you my thoughts. And I have currently now watched one of the full-length animated movies that are nominated. So we will talk about those. But first, let's get started with the animated shorts. Now, I don't know about you, but growing up with Disney, animated shorts has kind of always just been in my purview, because they would have them before the Disney movies we went to go see. However, as long as I've been watching the Oscars, I have never gone out of my way to watch the animated shorts until this year, which is surprising to me. But I was lucky enough to be able to find all 5 that are nominated. So I got to watch all of them. So I will go through all 5, tell you my thoughts, and then I'll tell you at the end which one I think should win. So starting off, we are starting with The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Now this one is based off of a book, and I know that I've seen the book in stores before, but I've never actually read it. It is stunning. The visual effects and how they animated this short, it's about 35 minutes is the length of it, but it is so pretty, and the storyline is beautiful. And at first I thought this was going to be like a kid's short and that it was just really cute. It's on Apple TV, I believe. Oh, man, I was crying watching this thing because some of the lines in there, I mean, yes, it's animated. Yes, it's about animals. Yes, it's about a little boy. But like the lines are meant for adults, I feel like, because there are certain lines in there that just hit you right at your core. And it was so well done. And the voice acting in it is just phenomenal. But yeah, this one was just amazing. Next on the list was The Flying Soldier. This one I found, I believe, on the New York Times website. I just Googled all of them and that's how I found them. But The Flying Soldier was okay. It was very artsy, and I appreciated the animation style and the storyline that it was going for. It was, I want to say this one was probably about 11 minutes long, I think. It was fine. There's no talking in it. But it was, I mean, it was good. Again, the storyline just I didn't grasp it enough to really enjoy the short. Next, we have The Ice Merchants. Now, this is another one that doesn't have any talking, but this one was so beautiful, and I loved the animation styling of this one. It's about a father and son who they sell ice, and basically they live on the side of, like, I don't think it's a glacier, but it might be a glacier. It's either the glacier or the like really tall part of a mountain. And when their ice freezes, they break it up every day and then they parachute down to the city below. But it was just very cute, and it touches on loss and grief. But I thought that one was really well done as well. Next, I have My Year of Dicks, and I know this one has kind of gotten a reputation already because when they announced it, so Riz Ahmed announced it and kind of giggled, and so that kind of, I saw that when that news kind of came out. I was a little nervous going into this short. It is about losing your virginity, and so I was kind of worried that it was more crass, and especially being, I think she said she's 15 when it starts. I get real queasy when we start talking about sex when you're that young. Not in the sense that I think teenagers aren't having sex, because they are. But I just don't need to be seeing underage children, even if it's animated, having sex. Like, that bothers me a lot. But it ended up being a really, really beautiful story. And the animation style is really cool. It kind of reminded me a lot of like Beavis and Butthead, which I think that's what it was going for based off of when the creator, because it's based off of the creator's life and the time period of when she was this old. It's kind of got a little 90s, early 2000s vibe to it. But I thought it was actually really well done and the story was really interesting. And then finally, the last one that I watched was An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. And this one is a claymation, and oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so funny. And I'm a sucker for claymation because I grew up watching Wallace and Gromit, and that whole studio is claymation. And the time it takes to do that is just mind-boggling. Like anytime I think about like what it would take to do that, it just, I know I would not have the patience. But that one was also really good, and I thought the animation was beautiful, and just the time it took for them to do that was so massive, and it was such an interesting project, and I really enjoyed it. But that is all 5 of the animated shorts. Out of all of them, and I really struggled because I thought the top 3 for me were The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Ice Merchants, and then Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. Those 3 are my top 3, but if I had to pick one to win the Oscar, I think it should go to The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, because it was such a beautiful story on top of the animation was stunning. It was absolutely stunning. So that's who I think should win for Best Animated Short. All right. And moving on to the live action shorts. Again, I only saw 3 out of the 5, so this will be based off of the 3 that I have seen, as The Irish Goodbye and The Red Suitcase were not available for me to watch. The other 3 were available. Evalu, I had to rent off of Amazon, but it was well worth the money. So the 3 that are on the list, so Evalu is the first one. And that one, the storyline was so good, and the cinematography and the shots that they took, it's set in Greenland, and the shots that they have in this short are so good and so pretty. And also the lead actress in this gives a phenomenal performance. She does so good. She is the majority of the short. There is some other characters that come in and out, but she is the majority of the short. And it is a beautiful and dark and sad story. But man, it was good. That one was really, really good. Next on the list was Les Pupilles, which is on Disney Plus, and I actually did switch it because if you go onto Disney Plus and you watch it, it will automatically pick the English dub for you. Whereas for me, I don't particularly enjoy watching dubs. I would much rather hear it with the original actors speaking in their their native language and then read the English than the dub, because it bothers me that their mouths don't match up. But that one was okay. Honestly, out of all of the shorts that I watched, it was the weakest. The acting was really good because it was all young girls. But the storyline was not one I just couldn't really follow, and I know that it's based off of a letter, so it's kind of like taking what this letter said and then they expanded on it into a short. But it just wasn't for me. And then the third one was Night Ride, and Night Ride was, out of the 3, film quality wise, was the roughest film quality I felt like, but the story was so beautiful and heartbreaking and very relevant to today. And I feel like with how the film quality and it being rough, it fit with what the story was. I'm a big sucker for not crisp, clean cinematography. Like, I kind of miss old, grainy film quality. And so this one I really enjoyed. And the actors do a really good job in it. This one's really, really short. So, it was a lot to pack in to one short, but overall, I thought it was really good. But out of the 3, Evalu is the one I feel like should win the Oscar. Again, have no clue about those other 2 because they're not available for me to watch. but Eva Lu was so good, and that actress was amazing. Alrighty, and lastly, I will talk about the animated movie that I have recently watched that is Oscar nominated, and that is
Turning Red.
I'm honestly surprised how long it took me to watch this movie. I love the concept of it. Um, it's always been on my list on Disney Plus, but I have just never taken the time to watch it. But I did end up watching it, and I enjoyed it. It is obviously not made for me. It is made for 13-year-olds who are in that period of their life where their emotions are all over the place and they're trying to understand how they feel and understand their emotions and their feelings. So there were parts of it that I know that when I was that age I would have loved, but now currently I'm like, oh, that's cute, but I didn't really connect with, I would say, the first 3/4 of the movie. I thought it was cute, but it was more so like, oh, that's cute, but I'm not super invested in it. The last probably 20 minutes of that movie, though, destroyed me. It is so beautiful, and I was sobbing uncontrollably. Like, the whole end of that movie just hit me right in the feels. And I don't know if it's because I've experienced the feelings that are happening, uh, or just the performances across the board were really, really good. Um, but yeah, again, that's the only one I've watched in this category so far, so I don't really have any like, oh, this should win, this shouldn't. If you haven't seen it, do it. I know there's a lot of controversy behind it, and it's stupid controversy. And anybody who says that it's a bad movie in terms of because it talks about periods and all that is wrong. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more of this. I am planning on live recording my reactions to the Oscars this year. So expect that video coming out in 2 weeks because the Oscars are the 12th and I'm so excited. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.